In the land of freedom, during a time when America was fighting tyranny abroad, a shocking injustice unfolded within its own borders. This is a story rarely told in classrooms, a chapter hidden beneath patriotic headlines and war victories. After the attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, fear swept across the United States. With that fear came suspicion, especially toward Japanese Americans, many of whom had lived peacefully in the U.S. for generations. In February 1942, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066. With one signature, the lives of over 120,000 Japanese Americans changed forever. They were given just days, sometimes mere hours, to leave their homes, businesses, farms, and lives behind. Families were forced to pack only what they could carry. Everything else had to be sold, abandoned, or left to be looted. Entire neighborhoods vanished overnight. Parents tried to stay strong while children cried, confused and scared. And they weren't being sent to safe shelters. They were being sent to internment camps, remote, guarded, barbed wire facilities surrounded by watchtowers and armed soldiers. Life inside the camps was bleak and humiliating. Spread across desolate areas in places like California, Wyoming, and Arkansas, these camps offered little shelter from blistering heat or freezing cold. Families lived in overcrowded barracks with no insulation and little privacy. The food was bland and rationed. Armed guards watched their every move. There were no criminal charges, no trials, and no evidence of wrongdoing. These people were not prisoners of war. They were American citizens. Despite this, the government tried to present a polished image to the world. Propaganda films showed smiling Japanese American families working together inside the camps. But the reality was far different. The truth was buried under layers of denial and distortion. Many of the internees had never even visited Japan. They were Americans in every way, but that didn't stop their neighbors from turning on them. Still, even in these conditions, some chose to serve the very country that had imprisoned them. Thousands of young Japanese American men volunteered to fight in World War II, forming the 442nd Regimental Combat Team. They became the most decorated unit in U.S. military history, proving their loyalty on the battlefield while their families remained behind fences. As the war ended in 1945, the internment camps were quietly shut down. But the damage had already been done. Most internees returned to destroyed homes, bankrupt businesses, and a society that still viewed them with suspicion. For decades, this chapter of history was rarely mentioned. Survivors spoke in hushed tones. School books skipped over it. It was an uncomfortable truth. Finally, in 1988, the United States government formally apologized. President Ronald Reagan signed the Civil Liberties Act, acknowledging the injustice and granting reparations to survivors. But no amount of money could undo the trauma, the lost years, or the betrayal they felt from their own country. This story isn't just about the past, it's a warning for the future. In times of fear, even democracies can abandon their ideals. The internment of Japanese Americans during World War II is not just a dark chapter in history. It's a lesson in the fragility of freedom and a reminder of how easily fear can turn into injustice.